if you are like me at all, you have like no patience for a proper unboxing video, so not gonna do that. Instead, we're just gonna, and it's unboxed, and we're just gonna, and now I even have Loopy Pro and all my apps downloaded right onto the iPad, and it might actually in fact be a different day than the last time I snapped my fingers, but that's all right. Here is the Loopy Pro startup screen that you get when you first start Loopy Pro. It is very versatile and you can do a whole lot without changing anything. But I haven't spent the last 2 years trying to get Loopy Pro to become the efficient looping machine of my dreams for nothing. We are going to build a very lean, mean looping machine that is going to just blow our minds. We just can't even conceptualize now at the beginning how awesome it is going to be at the end when we have it all working.
I'm getting upset about how good it is!
Very first thing I'm going to do is I am going to go into my canvas and delete everything that is not orange. Boom. Gone. The very next thing I am going to do is I am going to place a button, and this button is not going to do anything.
It doesn't do anything.
Button
You look at it.
Is a placeholder, and I'd like to make it nice and big, and that way when we come back out of the canvas editor, we have a big reserved place on the right side of our screen, and that will be for popping up and down modules. Later on, we want a nice big place for them to go, so we won't have to overlap other things. We won't have to slide the module all around. We'll just have one place where all the modules can go. And we are going to have clip, and we're going to shrink these because we don't need these to be as big. Spread these two clips away from each other a little bit, and let's put two more. Let's copy these.
Yeah, that's looking good.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna want to end up with. 6 percussion clips, probably more than I will ever need. But they're also spaced in this way. I like to do this grouping thing where I can make like 4 different song parts, and so up at the top there's 1 clip, and then there's 2 clips for group 2, 2 more clips for group 3, and a single clip on the bottom for group 4. I'm going to add the select buttons. The select buttons don't need to be that big, they just need to be big enough so that you can properly hit them. Yeah, those buttons will be used to select the different loops. Select buttons and control buttons are not vital for using Loopy Pro at all. It's just something that I have done because for me it makes it a lot easier. 2 things that I feel the need to do to be a good, efficient human. One is save early, save often. So we should save this template before we get too far into it, just in case anything happens. Probably nothing's going to happen, but let's save it. And the next thing is let's label these things so that they just seem more organized to me. There. That looks a lot more organized. I can tell which select button goes with which clip. And now we are going to make those select buttons work. Very simple to do. All we're going to do is tap on this button that says 01. And when we press it, we are going to assign that press to select action, which is down here, select. And it's going to select a specific clip, which is 01. Boom. All there is to it.
Finish the rest of this.
Button 01 selects clip 01. Now these select buttons are nice and functional. You can just press any one of them and select the corresponding clip. Very cool. Now I will add some control buttons, which will help to illustrate why select buttons are so awesome. Add a button for volume. Add a button for start/stop. Add a button for mute. Add a button for multiply divide. Add a button for the display menu. Add a button for copy. While I've been experimenting with this, I've also tried a peel button and a flush button. Flush is the whole reason I started making control buttons. I really like having a way to swipe something and delete a clip, but for right now there's limited space, and I am going with these 6 right here. Now, for the longest time, for way too long, I was making these control buttons that would do these various different functions as best I could, and I would make a control button for every single clip, like make a volume adjuster for each clip, and make, and have different swipe actions like control the volume, and a different swipe action for flush and all that. Ooh man, it took a lot of work. With select buttons, I don't have to do all that work anymore. I just select which clip I want to do an action on, and then I have a control button to do the actual action on whichever clip is selected. So much less work now. And now it is time for the most important control button of all, the record button. Let's make the record button red and nice and big and prominent, and let's put it in the area of the screen where our fingers are going to rest most often, which is right here next to this module area. In fact, let's actually label the module area so that it doesn't look like it's just a big box with no purpose. And while we are at it with putting things where our fingers are going to rest most often, let me actually move these select buttons over to here as well, because I think those are going to be needed most often. I think that even looks better. And also, while we're at it, just in terms of making some better visually pleasing space, I'm going to break up this big splotch of orange with a couple volume sliders. I happen to know from all that I learned in making the modularity template that I will want these 2 sliders. So here on this orange page, we will have a slider for the percussion, and we will have 1 slider for everything else besides the percussion. So if you wanted to solo the percussion, you could use that fader for a nice easy fade out and fade back in. Now let's actually get these control buttons and volume sliders working, because they look nice, but it would be nice to actually have them do what they're supposed to do. So for the volume control button, we will go in and set the swipe up action to nudge the volume up by 2 decibels, and the swipe down to nudge the volume down by 2 decibels. For start and stop, we will make the swipe up play the selected clip. So that is whatever clip is selected, our action will be play, and then for swipe down, our action will be stop. And just for the heck of it, let's make a regular press just the toggle. So if you just press it, it'll start it if it's stopped, and stop it if it's started. Cool. Same thing with the mute button. Swipe up, we'll unmute it. Swipe down, we'll mute it. And a press will toggle it. For multiply and divide, we will have a swipe up, multiply the selected clip, and a swipe down will divide the selected clip. For display, we will have a swipe up show the detail screen for the selected clip, because in Loopy Pro 1.1 and just as Loopy evolves, I mean the detail screen was already really awesome and helpful, but it just keeps getting better. If you haven't gone in and looked at it lately, do yourself a favor and go in and see all the things that you can do in the detail screen. So whatever selected clip you have, now you'll be able to just swipe up to get to that menu, and then you can like trim your loops, and you can just take the handles. It's just convenient, lots of cool things, and you can set all kinds of things. You can set the balance, and there's just all kinds of interesting things you have at your fingertips, quick, easy access. So I like this detail screen control button. And for copy, we will make it so that if you swipe up, it will take the selected clip and merge move to the clip above. If you swipe down, we will merge move to the clip below. Swipe right, we will merge move to next, and swipe left, move to previous. And this is just a recent thing that I've discovered for myself. I didn't realize that well, you could do this, but you can do this now. Yeah, like with this copy button, I can just fire copies of any given clip all around. Like if I have a clip in 06 where I've recorded something and I want to make a real quick copy, just swipe up on the copy button and it'll shoot a copy of it into 04, and then I can manipulate that. Like you can make copies for doing things, which is like comes in handy and is interesting the more you play around with it. For the record button, the star of our show, we are going to take press and just make that a simple record of whatever clip is selected. So it will do the record, stop, the whole cycle that you most often use. You might be curious, like, why can't you just press the clip to record and stop and overdub and all that? And you can. But I just like having this record control button over where my fingers are going to be, like I said before, over here where it's more convenient. It just makes my workflow faster. And then also on the record button, that is where I am going to put my flush, because I like deleting clips.
Delete it.
If I need
Gone.
to. So I'm going to make that action into a long press, because I find that I don't do long presses on accident very often, and I want it to be something that's completely intentional. So when I long press on the record button, it will delete whatever is in there. Swipe up, I am going to make another, I'm going to double the volume control button that's already there. There's already a volume control button, but just I use the volume control so frequently that I am just going to tuck it in here also additionally. So swipe up will nudge the volume of the selected clip up, swipe down nudges it down, and I think I might swipe left and swipe right to peel and like undo and redo for the clips, but I'm not sure if I'm going to actually do that yet. And now for the orange volume, we're just going to attach that to adjust parameter for color, which will be orange. And then this other slider, I am going to label this YPB, which stands for yellow, purple, blue. There is no yellow, purple, blue yet, but there's going to be. So this is going to be a slider that will control the volume of those 3 pages. In the past, I have always had a separate resampler page. Resampling is very fun to me. It's where a clip exists, and then Loopy Pro takes the transients, which means the little snips of sound that it can find, and it takes each of those and separates it into a different pad. So if you have like a bass drum and then like a snare drum, and in a repeating pattern, you know, bass, snare, bass, snare, bass, snare, something like that, it will split it up into this little grid thing that it makes. And you can just then go back in and play those different transients, like in make so you can vary, so it doesn't always have to just be repetitive loop music. You know, you can have bass snare going for a really long time, and then to break it up, you can just take your resampler screen and just be like snare, 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 like that. You know, you can just you can do like a little drum roll or something. You can do whatever you want. You can alter, and then as soon as you stop touching it, it goes back to playing it the regular way, and that's just a sort of creative genius. Absolutely. It is like a really, really fun and awesome power to be able to have in looping, and we have it now in Loopy Pro. And I've always had it over on its own little lonely page, and just sort of, if I need it, I just go over there. I am wanting to do something different now for the Phoenix template. I would like to actually have these little resampler pads on the actual pages that they go to. So for orange resamplers, I'm going to have them on the orange page. And for pages like this where there are 6 clips, I am not going to put 6 little resampler things. I think I am only just going to put 4. So the clips along the left side will all have their own little resampler pad, and these 2 clips, the 03 and the 05, won't. And I know that at some point in the future I will want to have the group buttons, the group 1, group 2, group 3, group 4. I am going to want to have them on every page, so I am going to put them in for right now, but I'm not going to code them up because I don't know exactly how they're going to work yet, but they're placeholders for some point in the future when I do code those. And lastly, for the orange page, we are going to put in some orange controls. These are controls that will just affect the whole orange section. We got a little bit of space left over that we can use next to our record button here, so that's where we're going to put stuff. And let's see which buttons we are going to need. I am going to put an all stop that is going to be able to start and stop all the orange clips at once. If you don't want to like fade them out and fade them back in, you just want a hard stop, you'll be able to press this button. And I find that when I start using start and stop buttons, I like to also have a phase fix button, because sometimes you restart them and they're out of phase and everything sounds weird. So phase fix keeps track of how they were all originally lined relative to each other, and just fixes them. That's handy. So I will put in a phase fix button. I am going to put in a flush orange button, which will just delete all of the orange clips all at once, just because I sometimes like to have that. And I am going to put in an O effects button. This is something that I've had in each of the previous templates. It uses live effects, which some people have been having problems trying to get live effects on newer iPads. I apologize for that. You can put whatever effects programs you like. You can substitute in what you use. I just happen to use live effects, or voice rack live, I think it's called. So that is most of what I can see that I'm gonna need for the orange page. It may not seem like it, but we are actually more than halfway through, I think, because most of the pages that I have in mind for this thing are just copies of what we've already made, just for different colors. So yeah, I think there's going to be one more video of constructing the Phoenix template, but first, before I do that, I am going to make a quick video of figuring out which percussion audio units I am actually going to integrate into this thing. I've been going back and forth on this channel for quite a while, trying to find the whole perfect mix of what I'm going to use for percussion and finger drumming and playing with samples. I'll see you soon for that one, and then for the part 2 of the Phoenix template, and then we'll release the Phoenix template, and that will be really awesome. If you want to do me a favor, click like on this, that really helps. YouTube has this crazy new thing where if I say subscribe and you're not subscribed, I think it like makes the subscribe button light up. I don't know, you could look down there and check. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't, I don't know. Yeah, but that's cool. And also I'm really enjoying this Phoenix template creation thing. This Phoenix template is gonna be just awesome. Thank you for watching. Appreciate you. And loop on!